Hello, my lovelies. Welcome back to my channel. This is your girl Angel from Simply Angel Tia. In this video, we're gonna be working on these I guess square. There's a granny square, there's a granny square, two different colors of squares that we're gonna be using to make this sweater. And as you can see, it's very simple. I am doing mine in a small as well as it's a crop sweater as opposed to a long sweater, and I will explain how you can make it so that it's a long sweater for you. So very simple, very fun to do these squares here. I will try to do either skirt or shorts that will be with the granny stitches as well, or the squares here with the same color, just because I have enough to be able to do a matching outfit. So hopefully you guys will check that out as well. But for the moment, I'm gonna go ahead and talk to you guys about everything that I used for this project. Okay, see you guys in a bit. Okay, my lovelies. So before we get this project started, I'm going to talk about all the materials that you need to accomplish it. So as you can see, I do have my two color yarns here. This yarn is Allison and May. It's a bamboo and cotton yarn. So it's 50% cotton and 50% bamboo. And it's about 50 grams to 120 meters for a skein like this. This is a light, I believe it's a lightweight number 3. But please correct me in the comment section below if it's the different size. This is the first time I'm using this yarn. I grabbed it in Amsterdam while I was there this summer. So this is the first time I'm using this yarn pretty much. It's also recommending a hook size of 5mm crochet hook, and this color number is 5855160. I'm gonna just call it pink, and everything is exactly the same with this except the color number is 585238. I'm just going to call it purple. Okay, so these are the two yarns that we're using, or the two colors that we're using. As you can see, it's recommending 5mm crochet hook for this, but for this project I'm going to use a 3.5mm crochet hook, or E4 US. I'm going to be using scissors that you're going to need. We need a darning needle, some stitch markers, as well as a tape measure to determine your size, okay? So as you know, this project works in squares, so we're going to need to do so many squares just to be able to create this project. But I will show you how to do, because we're using two different squares that are different. So I'm going to show you how to do each of the two that we're using. And then you're going to pretty much spend majority of your time crocheting all these squares to fit what you need for the size and things like that. Okay, all right, so let's go ahead and get started. Okay, my lovely, so we're gonna go ahead and do the purple square, and this one is the one that is granny stitches. So I'm gonna just go ahead and I will do a what is this, a magic circle. So we're gonna need to start by doing a magic circle. This is how I do it. I leave these a little bit hanging a little bit lower or long, just so you don't run out of space when you do your granny stitches. Okay, so you just go like this. I slip it out, I pull this a little bit to make the hole bigger so that I can work into it, and then I take my hook, I put it through, and then I yarn over like this. And then from this point on, I'm going to try to keep leaving this gap here open so I can work into it as I work around. And then I'm going to do a chain of 3. So 1, 2, and 3. This chain of 3 counts as a double crochet. And then I'm going to go into that magic circle and I'm going to complete 2 more double crochets. So 1 and 2. And this makes it 3. Okay. And then I'm going to do a chain of 2. So 1, 2, and then into the same gap I'm going to complete 3 more double crochets. So your chain 3 that we began this with counts as a double crochet, which is why I just did 2 more to make it 3. But this next is going to be 3 double crochets after our chain 2, and then we're going to do a chain of 2 and then do 3 more double crochets. So 1, 2, and 3, and then we're going to do a chain of 2, and we're going to do 2 more double crochets, 3 more double crochets into that same gap. I don't know why I keep saying 2, but we're going to do 3 more into that gap. Okay, and you want to make sure you have 4 clusters of 3 double crochets. So we have the first one, the second, the third, and the fourth. And now we're gonna stop because we're doing a square. And then here I'm going to do chain 2, and then on top of that chain 3 that we began, I'm gonna go on top of that and complete a slip stitch like this. And then I'm gonna pull the magic circle to close the circle like that. Okay, so this is what you should have for the first row of your square. And then we're going to do the second, and I'm going to go ahead and do a chain of 3, which counts as a double crochet. And then I'm gonna go into that same chain 2 gap and complete 2 more double crochets to make it 3. Okay, and then I'm going to jump over to this gap here and complete 3 double crochets at first. So 1, 2, and 3, and then chain 2 because it's a corner, and then complete 3 more double crochets. Okay, so for the corners we're going to be doing 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, and we need 4 corners here. So this is technically my first completed corner. And then I'm gonna move on to the next. So I've skipped these 3 stitches, and in the next gap here I'm going to do my second corner, which means I complete 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets into that same chain 2 gap from the previous row. Okay, so I'll go ahead and complete 2 more, or 3 more I should say. So 2 and 3. So that's my second completed corner here. Okay, so we have one here, we have the other one here. And then I will go ahead and do my third corner. So just doing the exact same thing that we have been doing, or we have done at least in the last two corners, which is again skipping into the chain 2 gap after skipping the 3 double crochets, and then completing a corner. So 3 double crochets like that, chain 2, and then 3 double crochets into the same gap. Okay, like that. And then so that's my third corner here. So I have a corner, corner, corner. We obviously want to do a corner here, which is our fourth. So we go ahead and skip right into this corner and do 3 double crochets, and that's kind of where we're gonna not do anymore because we already have 3 that we began the row with. Okay, so these 3 double crochets we started with is the other half of this side. So then all I need to do is do my 2 chains in the middle and then slip stitch on top of that chain, on top of the chain 3 like this. Okay, so that's my second row, and as you can see I have my 4 corners like this. Okay, and then I'm gonna start the next row. I'm gonna do a chain of 3, and in that gap here, so the chain 2 gap, I'm gonna go ahead and do 2 more double crochets to make it 3 with a chain 3 like that. And then in this gap here, it's not a stitch or anything, it's just a gap that we created by skipping these 3 double crochets. I'm gonna go into that gap and do 3 double crochets, and it's not a corner, so I don't need to do the chain 2 and then 3 double crochets. So just 3 double crochets like that. And then now I go into the corner, which is my chain 2 gap. I'm gonna do 3 double crochets. So 1, 2, and 3, and then chain 2, and then I'll complete 3 more double crochets into that same chain 2 gap. Okay, so my corner is going to be created, and it's the first corner that is fully completed here. Okay, and then now this gap here is a non-corner, so I'm going to complete 3 double crochets. So 1, 2, and 3, and then I will hop over to the corner right here and complete my corner. So 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. Okay, so I will just go ahead and go and finish this row with you, and then I'll explain in my case how many rows I'm doing per square, and then you can obviously do the number of rows that you think is going to be satisfactory for you. But I think if you're following this tutorial, you may want to kind of just do the tutorial as I'm doing it, so that you're not trying to make too many adjustments that may not create the same results as you see in this tutorial. Okay, so I complete my non-corner here, then in my corner, oopsie, In my corner I complete 3 double crochets, so that's 2 and 3, chain 2, and then 3 more double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and then I will go into my non-corner. Right here is my final non-corner, and I'll do 3 double crochets, and then I will need to finish my 4th corner. And because I started by working my first 3 double crochets when I began the row, I just need to go into that same gap and do my remaining 3 double crochets to make it a complete corner. So 3 double crochets and chain 2. Okay, and then 2 chains, and then slip stitch on top of that, chain 3. Okay, like that. So if we just look at it like this, I have completed my 3rd row, and that's how it looks like. Okay, and this is what you're looking to do, is making sure you complete these corners like this. And then you're going to what you're gonna do is, I'm gonna do a square that is about I believe about 4 inches, about 4 inches. So which means I'm gonna work these until I have about these 4 to 5, I think is what I'm working. So about a square that is that much, okay, across all the four sides. Okay, and you can do that however you want. You can leave them small, you can leave them big, but like I said, for the sake of this tutorial, we're going to do about we're going to do 6 rows. So I have 3 completed. I'm going to do 3 more to make it 6, and when I have finished that, I'll come back to the video to show you how it looks like, and then we will start the other square, which is going to be different from this one, and we're going to obviously use the different color yarn as well. Okay, so see you guys when you have done 6 rows total. Okay, my lovelies, so I have gone ahead and completed the 6 rows that I need for this. And as you can see, I have completed my 3 double crochets here to finish the corner. So I'm going to do my chain of 2, and then I'm going to go ahead and slip stitch on top of that, chain 3, to be able to finish this row. And then I will just measure it really quick to see how wide it is. So as you can see, I'm gonna not cut it in case I need to increase the number of rows or whatever the case is. So I'm looking for about 5 inches for this. Let's say between 4 and 5 inches. And so when I take my square here and I just place it flat, and I can go and measure it, like, so it's about 4.5 inches. So I did say between 4 to 5. So I think 4.5 is okay. So I'm gonna leave it at this. So I have 6 rows in this square here. So I'm gonna go ahead and just cut my yarn somewhere here. Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and just slip stitch here to close it off, just something like that. Okay, all right, so we have 1 square completed. I'm gonna show you how to do another square, but it's gonna be in the pink, and it's gonna be a different stitch that we're using. And then I will go ahead and explain how you get the number of squares for each of the panels that you're gonna do, because we're doing a sweater that is just like solid in the front, the back. It's not like the one that you have a division in the middle of the front. And then you're gonna do the sleeves as well. Okay, so let me go ahead and show you how to do the second square. I'm gonna just put this here. So we're gonna do the second square that is going to be in the pink. So let me grab my pink yarn here, and then after that you just do however many you need per each of the colors. And I will talk a little bit about how we alternate these when we put it together, how we alternate the colors, so that you know how many to do in the pink, how many to do in the purple. Okay, so for this square, we're going to start just like we did the other one. We're going to do a slip knot, we're going to do a magic circle, and then we're going to do a chain of 3. So 1, 2, and 3, and then we're going to go ahead and do 3 more double crochets in the center here. So 1 and 2, and our chain 3 counts as a double crochet. And then we're going to do a chain of 2, and then we're going to go into that same gap and complete 3 more double crochets. So the first row here is very much the same as we did the one we did for the purple square, but I'm obviously going to show you guys how to do all this whole first row. That way I can show you guys the second row, because the second row is where things are a little bit different. Okay, so we need to create the 4 clusters of the double crochets here to be able to do our square. Okay, so I have 2 and 3, and then chain 2, and then I'm going to go ahead and complete one more cluster of 3 double crochets. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay, like that. And then I'm gonna pull my magic circle. So I'm gonna pull the yarn that I had left here, and then I'm gonna do my chain 2 and then slip stitch on top of the chain 3 that we created to start the row. Okay, so that's how our first row looks like. And as you can see, it's just literally the same as what we did when we started the purple here. Okay, and then for this one, okay, my lovelies, so as I was sitting here editing this video a couple of months after I had recorded it, I realized there's a portion of the video that is missing, and I'm not sure how this happened. I don't know if this was a glitch with my phone or whatever the case was, but as I was editing it, it seems like I finished the first row and then I began the second row, and then it just cuts, and then it starts with the third row as I'm beginning to explain to you guys the third row. Obviously, I want you guys to see how I do that second row fully as well, so that you can fully understand this step-by-step tutorial. So I will have to just now fix this error. So I'm going to show you guys that section of it. It's gonna look a little bit off because it's with a completely different yarn and a completely different everything, but it's just to make sure that you guys kind of understand the second row fully, so that when we pick up in the next clip where we're doing row 3, that you understand why we are getting there. Okay, so here we go. Okay, my lovelies, so I'm just going to use this fine yarn number 2 here. It's just a regular cotton yarn to show you guys this section that apparently kind of just went missing. And I'm just using a small hook as well. So all of these kind of things don't matter because we talked about the materials that you use at the beginning of the video, but this portion is just to show you guys that section. So instead of actually just doing the first row on my own and then picking up on the second row, I will just start it over so that you guys at least have this section. If you miss something on the first clip there, where we did the first row, you will be able to understand it by just kind of repeating quickly the couple of minutes here. Okay, so I will again start by doing my slip knot so I can create my magic circle like this, and then I will insert my hook in the middle, and then I'll go ahead and do a chain of 3. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, and this chain of 3 counts as a double crochet. And as you see, I'm holding my magic circle open here so I can work my stitches into it. I'll yarn over, go into the circle and complete a double crochet. So because my chain 3 counts as a double crochet, we're now doing our second, and then I'm going to do my third double crochet. So this is a cluster here, and then I'm going to do a chain of 2, and then I will yarn over again, go into the magic circle, and I'm going to complete 3 more double crochets. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and then I'll do a chain of 2. So 1, 2, and then I'll go into the circle again and do 3 more double crochets. So 1, 2, and 3, and then I'll chain 2 and then do my final cluster of 3 double crochets. Okay, so this is going to create my first row, which is where, if you look in the first clip, where pretty much I'm repeating the exact same things. Okay, so you will see these 3 double crochets here, these 3 double crochets here, 3 double crochets here, 3 double crochets here, and they're all separated by chain 2 in between. Okay, so I'll take my tail here and I will pull to close my circle like that. And then because I need to separate this cluster of 3 double crochets from this, I'm going to do a chain 2 in between. So 1, 2, and then I will take that chain 3 that I began the row with. So 1, 2, 3. So on top of that chain 3, I'm going to do a slip stitch. Okay, there you go. So now you will see a full first row like that, okay? To begin my second row, I'm going to do a chain of 3. Okay, so this row is going to now always begin with a chain of 3. And then in that area here where we did our chain 2, I'm going to go backwards and complete a double crochet. And keep in mind, the chain 3 here counts as a double crochet, okay? And then now I'm going to make sure I work my stitches here. So I have 1, 2, 3 stitches. So I'm going to go into this first gap here, which corresponds with the chain 3, and I'm going to complete a double crochet, okay? And then I'm going to go into this next stitch right here, which corresponds with this double crochet, like that. And then I'm going to work on top of this stitch here to correspond with that double crochet. I'm just going to go right into this space right here like this. Okay, so you should have 3 double crochets up here, plus the 2 double crochets in this gap here. Okay, so now in this chain 2 gap, I'm going to work 2 double crochets. So 1, 2, and then I'll chain 2, and then I will work 2 more double crochets into that same gap, this chain 2 gap from the previous row. Okay. And then, so now I have created a corner here. This is my complete corner. This is going to be a corner here as well, but I'll complete it when I come around, okay? So this is my first completed one here. And then I need to work into these 3 double crochets here. So I'm going to yarn over and I'm going to go into this gap. This is a stitch right here, okay? So I'm going to work into that and complete a double crochet. And then this is a stitch here, so we'll go into that and complete a double crochet. And then I'll go into this final one and complete a double crochet. So there's 3 double crochets there. And then I'm going to work into my chain 2 gap and do 2 double crochets at first. And then I'm going to chain 2 because I'm creating a corner, and then do 2 more double crochets into that chain 2 gap from the previous row, like that. Okay, so this is my second corner here completed. And then again, I work into these 3 stitches, which is just going right above the 3 double crochets from the previous row. So each of those double crochets will have a stitch that corresponds with it, like that. Then again, I'm gonna go right into the center of the chain 2 here and do 2 double crochets, chain 2, and then 2 double crochets into the same chain 2 gap, okay? So this is the row that I wanted to complete. I intended to complete, but for some reason it just kind of went somewhere into the clouds. And then now I have my 3 double crochets to finish here. So I'll go into this stitch right here and do my first double crochet. And then to the next stitch, do another double crochet. And then into this stitch, go ahead and do a double crochet. And then now I have the chain 2 gap, and I do need to complete this corner. So I'm going to go right into it and do my final 2 double crochets because I already finished 2 at the beginning of the row, just like that, okay? And because I need to make it a corner, I'm going to chain 2 and then slip stitch on top of this chain 3. So there's 1, 2, 3. So right into the top of that, I'm going to do my slip stitch, okay? So this is what I intended in that missing video, was to show you guys this part of it here. So when now the video picks up, it picks up at us doing the 3rd row. And then we're going to continue to work like that, okay? So I hope this was helpful, and I hope you guys will be able to just kind of incorporate this section into the actual video so it doesn't look a little bit off. But yeah, this is what we're going to do. So let's see you guys in the next clip. Okay, so now after you've slip stitch, you're going to do your chain 3, which counts as a double crochet. And in that gap right here, you're going to go ahead and complete your 2nd double crochet. So that is now done. And then you're going to work across here and just do a double crochet on each stitch until you get to the corner. So just like that. And then when you get to the corner, you're going to do your corner, and then we will go ahead and complete the 2nd corner when you come back around, okay? Oh, sorry, the corner, you're going to complete every corner pretty much, and then complete the one we just started here when we come back all the way around. So you're gonna do it like that, and then you're gonna hop right into the middle here and complete a corner, which is chain two, sorry, double crochet, 2 double crochets, chain 2, and then 2 double crochets. Okay, so this is your first completed corner, like that. Okay, and then you're going to work double crochets on top of the double crochets from the previous row. So you're pretty much working yourself across all the stitches here. Okay, so you're doing your double crochet on every stitch. Okay, so this is a very easy one, but it's one that is more solid than the granny stitch one that we did. So something like that. And then you're gonna hop right into the corner here, and you're gonna complete 2 double crochets, chain 2, and then 2 double crochets, like that. Okay, so this is my second corner completed, and then I will work double crochets on top of the previous double crochets here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So you should be able to have 7 stitches that you're working into for this row. And then we hop right into the corner and complete 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 double crochets. Okay, so this is my third corner completed, but I need to go into my fourth corner, which is where we began by doing half of the corner. So I will just do my double crochets along here to take me to where I began the corner, finish it off, and then that finishes this third row. And then you do the next corner the same as we just did this. So nothing changes at this point. You will just repeat what we have done in row 2 and row 3 here. Okay, so this is the last one, and then I'll go directly into the corner here and do 2 double crochets, and then chain 2, and then slip stitch on top of the chain 3 from the beginning of the row. Okay, something like that. All right, so this is pretty much how this square is gonna be worked up. And then so we have 1, 2, 3. We're gonna do, I think let's do the 6 rows, or I will do it and continue to put it against this because I want them to be the same size. So if it ends up that I need to do more, I may end up doing more or less, even depending. I'm gonna do between 5 and 6, I think. If it's less, then it will be 5, but if it's more, then it will be the same. And then when I have this completed, I'm gonna come back to show you how it looks like, and then I will explain the totality of how we do the rest of the work, because all you have to do is repeat this square as many times as you need to have the squares you need to do the sweater, and then the same for this. Okay, but for now, just do the number of rows you need here to match up with this size, and then come back when that is done. Okay, my lovelies, so I have gone ahead and completed 5 rows of this square here, and I'm going to just finish it here. So I have the 2 the double crochets here to finish, and then my corner, so chain 2 and then slip stitch. Now I just quickly put it on top of this square here, and this is how it fits. But I also think if I do one more row, it's gonna be a little bit too big for it. So I think I'm okay to have these squares here be a little bit smaller compared to the other one, because as long as I can just join it like this, I think I'm good with it. So I'm gonna do 5 rows of this, and then this is having 6 rows. Okay, so I'm gonna leave it at that. So I'm gonna do the same thing that we have done, which is pretty much cut off the yarn and then slip stitch here to be able to lock it in. Okay, just like that, and then lock it in. Now after every row that I finish, I just kind of do a little bit of this to make sure that it is even on all sides, and then that's it. So this square is done. So we're going to be working on doing as many of these as possible and as many of these as possible. What I will probably do is the way I foresee it in my head for the horizontal part of the sweater. I think I'm gonna try to do four. So we'll have the purple, the pink, the purple, the pink. So I'll have four of those, and then I will come back to show you if that is the length or the circumference of the sweater that I want. And if it's not, we'll see if we need to add more. And then when we have that, I will see how many to go on top for the length of the sweater. Okay, so let me do two of these, and then, well, I guess one more of this, one more of this, and then come back so I can show you what that looks like if we want to make it the length of the sweater, and the circumference of the sweater. Okay, see you guys in a bit. Okay, my lovelies, so I have completed the second set here, which is one of each of the colors. Now I just put them down like this to see if maybe this is the length of the sweater that I want. So the first thing that is important is you need to determine how loose you want your sweater, and then when you determine that, then you can go ahead and determine how long to make this here. So just for these 4 squares, I have about 17 inches. And that is pretty much for me exactly the tightness of my sweater. I have about 34. It would fit me about a 34 in the circumference like that. It will fit me, but not too loosely. So maybe what I will do is I will do another square here in this color so that I have pink. Sorry, I have purple, pink, and then ends with purple. I don't know. Let me just go ahead and do and then see. Now, but the point here is you want to make as many rows, as many of these squares as you need to do your sweater. So this is just determining the width of it. Now, in terms of the length, I will do the same, where I will just kind of alternate them like this. Okay, so I want to make sure this is something you guys can see. So if I alternate them like this, I want to make sure that this is the length that I want. And I think the length is going to be more actually what it is. I think I like this length like this, but I think it's more the width that I will need to see if just 4 squares is okay, or if I need to do 5 squares. Okay, so do that and then come back when you think you have one set of this completed, which is gonna make up a panel with the front or back panel. Then come back and I will show you how it would kind of lay out, and then I will talk about how you need to do that the second set like that for the other panel, and then we'll talk about the sleeves. Okay, see you guys in a bit. Okay, my lovelies, so I have gone ahead and completed some squares here. So as you can see, that's pretty much the top. So I kind of laid them out as to how I would lay a panel. And as you can see here, this is pretty much how it would look like when I lay them down. So as you can see across, there's 4 squares and I alternate the colors. And then if you go all the way down, there's also 4. So I think this is the right amount of squares that I will join to make one panel. So I will have my 4 across like this, and then I will have my 4 that are diagonal like this, and all these 4 will be all these here will be for one panel, and then I will duplicate the squares like literally the same way to do the second. But just keep in mind, if you want, you can kind of alternate this so that this pink, when we join it to the second panel, it's gonna actually join to the purple as opposed to the pink. I don't know if that makes sense. So pretty much reverse how this is set up. So this would be a purple, this would be pink, purple, pink, and then that way when you join them together, they're giving you the different sizes. The other thing that I'm thinking is, if I kind of want this to be a crop sweater, I guess I could just leave it as 3 of the 3 up, still 4 across, no problem with that, but 3 up. I'm not sure yet. So when I come back, I will actually, what I will do as well is I will join this. Okay, so I'm not going to show you guys how to join on camera. You guys know how to join, I think. Just join them like this and then join them like this. So I will probably do 3 diagonally, and then horizontally will still be the 4 to see how it will look, because I think it will probably be a little bit too long for the type of sweater that I'm looking for. So I think I'll cut it down to 3 on top, like 3 like this. Okay, so go ahead and do that. Join one of these panels and then come back when you've completed that, because I would like to just kind of see how it looks like for me as well, and then for you, you'll do the same thing. Okay, my lovelies. So what I did was I went ahead and created six of these colors, six squares of these colors here. And then I went ahead and joined them. So as you know, in the previous clip, I had actually had a fourth one to try and see if I need to have a fourth one. And then I decided to do these ones first, and then I put it against my body. And I think because I want this sweater to be a crop top, this is the right length for me for the sweater. And then of course the width here is also the size that I want. So just having put these 12 pieces together, I'm not gonna add any more on top or any more to the side, because this is the size that I'm going for. Okay, so if you are, so I came to pretty much show you how it looks like when you join the colors together. This is a little bit of a one of those projects that is a little bit difficult to show you everything that I'm doing. So I know you guys know how to join, so I just alternated the colors like this and joined them all together. And this is what I have. I have one piece that is going to be one of my panels, and I'm gonna have two identical panels for the back and the front. Okay, so with that done, so what I will do is I will work with panels. So we'll do another 12 pieces, which is 6 of the pink and 6 of the purple. And then when I have those, I will join them together. I will come back and then we will discuss how to do the sleeves and how many you need for the sleeves based on your measurements. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the second panel and then come back. Okay, my lovelies, so I have gone ahead and completed my second panel, and as you can see here, it's literally the same as the first one. I just did 12 squares, so 6 of the each colors here, and then I joined it exactly the same. So as you can see, this is how it looks. Obviously, I'm not going to join it like this because then it means I'm joining, the colors are going to be the same. I mean, I can, if this is what you prefer, you can, where you have the purple with the purple, the pink with the pink, the purple, like that. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do it like this, so that I have the pink with the purple, the pink with the purple all around. Okay, so but this is our second panel here. So now you have the body, the 2 panels for the body completed. Obviously it's going to be different for you if you're doing it in different sizes. So like I said, this is a small for me. So if you're looking to do a medium, and also it just mostly depends on what length you want. So mine is a small, but I'm also deciding how long it is and how wide it is to the sides. So if you're looking to make it even wider, then you may have like a 5th square, a row of the 5th square here. And if you want it to be longer, then you will have another row of the squares here, and however you want that. Okay, but for me, this is something that I like. It's gonna be a crop top or crop sweater, and this is what fits me. Okay, so when you do your second panel, obviously will be to match whatever you decided for the first panel. Okay, now for the sleeves, so we're going to do a long sleeve for the sweater, and I have measured myself, my arm. So I have, what I do is I take the tape measure and I measure from the bottom of my wrist and I go all the way down to my armpit, because when I measure it underneath, I get a better representation of the length, as opposed to when I do it above, and it takes me on top to the end of the shoulder, and then it's a little bit too long. Okay, so I have done that already, and it's actually going to be about the same, exactly the same as this length here. It's about 17 to 18 inches, give and take, if I want it to be a little bit too loose, too buggy here, or if I want it to be a little bit shorter. But I need to have about between 17 and 18 inches, and this is the length here. So while I was working on this, I just folded it like this to see if this is a sleeve I would like. If I was to make this a sleeve, so if I was to do this, this will be how buggy it will be, and then the length of it will be exactly what I'm looking for. Okay, so with that said, I have decided I'm gonna do 2 more panels exactly like this, because that is just exactly what I need for my sleeves. So those will be for my 2 sleeves. Okay, so I have the body sleeve, the body panels here. I'm gonna do 2 more exactly identical, and then come back when I have completed those 2, and then we can talk about how to join them. Okay, see you guys in a bit. Okay, my lovelies, so I have gone ahead and completed my 2 other panels here. So I went ahead and joined just exactly like we did the first 2, and so I have 4 together. So I have these 2 that I just completed, and then these are the first 2 that I did. So we're gonna have 2 of these panels that will be for the body, so the back and the front, and then we have the other two that will be each for one of the sleeves. Okay, so that is done. And by the way, as I was working on my squares, it was just like I was watching a movie with my husband, and I think I just ended up making way too many because I was just like going and putting it aside without quite counting. So I ended up with a lot more squares than I needed. So maybe I will do something else with this. So keep an eye open. Maybe it depends on how much yarn I have, and if this will be enough to make something, maybe like shorts or like a short skirt, something like that. But anyways, I made a lot more than I needed. Now, with that said, so what I will do is I will put two of these panels on the side because I need to just join the body first. So, and by the way, when you join, I think the first two that I did, I joined with the color pink. So if you see where I joined them here, as you can see, it doesn't matter what color you use. And I think for the other two panels, I used the purple to join. So it doesn't matter at all because you have these two colors as your two colors anyway. So it just kind of blends very, very well, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and join these sleeves, the body. So what I will do is I will just place these the way I would like them to kind of fall against each other. And let me see, let me put this away. Let's use these two here. I don't know why I just did that, but I feel like these ones would look better for the body. Okay, so as you can see, I have one of the panels down like this, and this side is facing up. Now the reason I'm making it face up is this is the other side. This is how the other side looks. Because we work on this project round and round and round and not turning, you have one side that has a little bit of a different look than the other one. So you see, if you look at this side and that side, they look different. So what I do is I make this side, because I don't like it, I make it as the inside of my sweater, and the side that I prefer to be the outside of my sweater. So, and you can literally do the opposite. If you prefer the other side, then make that side the outside of your sweater, okay? All right. Now, with the good part facing up, I'm going to place the second piece with the good part facing down. So the good part for both are meeting in the middle, okay? Like that. And as you can see, I'm going to alternate it so that I'm joining the pink and the purple like this, and that's going to be consistent on the sides as well, and something like that, okay? All right. Now that I have done that, I'm going to grab my darning needle. I'm gonna grab any of the yarn. I just happen to have this one here, and I'm gonna just grab a big piece here, cut that off, put this away, and then I'm gonna thread my threading needle here like that. Oop, I think I may have cut too much, but it's okay, we have a lot to join anyways. So, and now that I have threaded my needle here, I'm gonna go ahead. So at this time, you're going to decide how wide you want your neckline to be. You can make your neckline so that it's a small neckline, so you can just, your head can go through. Obviously, you don't want to make it so your head cannot go through, or you can do a really wide top here. So what I will do, because I'm not sure yet, normally what I do is I just do it to an estimated amount. And then when I have joined that and then the sides, I try it on, or even after I put the sleeves on, I try it on. And then if the neckline is too small or too wide, I can adjust that, okay? So what we will do here is I will go, let's say on this side, I will go 3/4 in. So maybe I will go up to somewhere here and stop there, like somewhere here. And then on the other side, I will do the same. I'll go 3/4 into that. And then I will leave it there. We will join the rest of it. And when I try it on, it will give me a better way of seeing whether it's a nice looking neckline or not. And if it's not, then we can adjust that, okay? All right, so to join, and this is why I'm showing you how to join. This is why I did not want to show you guys how to join the rest of it, because otherwise I will be spending a lot of time showing you guys how to join. So we have our chain 2 spot here and our chain 2 spot on the other side. I just go through that part. I bring my yarn through and I pull. Okay. And I tie here. I just do 2 knots or something like that, just to keep it so that it doesn't come apart. And then for the rest of it, I just want to make sure I line up my stitches very nice and even like that. And then I will go and grab the next stitch here, both loops like that, and I'll go through and pull like that. I will do that one more time just to bring my yarn closer to where I'm going, like that. Okay, and then I'll line up the next stitches here, and I'll bring that through. Okay, now again, I'm just showing you how I join. This is one of my favorite ways of joining, especially for sweaters and things like that. So if you have another way of how you normally join, please go ahead and follow your technique of what that you prefer better. Some people do it with a slip stitch, some people do it with a single crochet. So go ahead and follow the method that you usually do if you prefer another method. And if you want to try this method, this is how I do it, okay? So we just do this all the way to where we want to stop. And for me, it's going to be 3/4 in. So it's going to be, I'm going to stop it somewhere, like let's say somewhere here. And it's just like 1, 2, like these two, before these two clusters of double crochets, okay? The granny stitches. And so I'm just going to go ahead and continue here, joining. And as you can see, I'm not pulling it too much because I don't want it to be too tight here, because otherwise it will make it kind of dented when we flip it, because this side that we're joining is actually it's going to be the inside of our sweater, which means the other side is going to be the outside. And when you show that, you don't want it to dent, to look like it's denting in, and that would be caused by making it too tight here. Okay, so I made this yarn definitely too long. So when you make it too long, you struggle, it knots itself and things like that. And that is exactly the problem I'm having here. So I need to unknot this section here, there. Okay, so I'm gonna show you quickly just to finish these off, and then I will have you guys do the other side on your own. Okay, so I'm gonna end it here. So this is gonna be my last one. And you just want to make sure it's even, so you have an amount that is even here. And what I will do here is I will go into it one more time, and for this time I'm going to loop my yarn around, and this is going to create a slip stitch like that. Okay, and then because I don't know if I'm gonna make it further, I'm going to cut it and leave a little bit of a longer yarn here like that, so that if I do need to increase the joining, I can. And then what you will do here is you will just kind of pull it a little bit. So this is how it looks like when you join. More importantly, when you flip it to the other side, that's how it looks like. It's nice and clean. So it's going to be the top of your shoulder here. Okay. All right. So go ahead and join the other side exactly the same. So just flip your work and then do the same thing you've done on this side, and then come back. And then I will show you how to join our sleeves to our sweater. Okay. See you guys in a bit. Okay, my lovely, so I have joined my sweater on both sides now, and as you can see, I left a little bit of yarn as well in case I need to increase in case I need to make the neckline a little bit smaller. So this is all gonna be determined at the end, because for now we just need to join our panels. Okay, so now that we have that, so this is so far what the neckline is. As you can see, it looks a little bit wide, but of course if I like this, then it will be something that I keep like this. Okay, all right, so now we need to join one of our panels on. So I'm gonna bring one of them in, and the first thing I will do here is place my two panels like this, so facing down, because we need to join on this side that is going to be eventually the inside of my work. So all I have to do is flip it like this. Okay, the neckline is here. This is one of the sleeves. This is where one of the sleeves will go. So, and then what I will do is I will just take my sleeve, place it like this against the body, the panel. I hope you can see that. And then what we will do is you're just going to decide what is the middle of these here. I think we're going to move it a little bit like this. And then as you can see, this is going to be my middle here. So what I will do is I will just put a stitch marker right here to hold that in place. Okay, let's do on this side. So on this side here, as you can see, in the second to the left, I'm gonna just place a stitch marker there of the granny stitches in this color. And then on the other side, I'm gonna place it right at the, sorry, in the middle and then at the end. I'm just deciding right now. Wait, let me just show you something. I'm just gonna decide, because if you see how this sleeve is, there's one side that has two pinks on the side and then in the middle is the purple. But if you look at it on the opposite side, it's the opposite. It is two purples and this on the middle. So I guess it depends. So I think at this point is where you would decide, do you want your sleeve to have the calf that looks like this, or do you want your sleeve to have the calf that looks like this? So this is where you will make that decision of how you want it to look. I think I would like for my calf to have the two purples as opposed to the two pinks on the side. So I will decide, I will make it like that. Okay, so going back, and I'm just gonna put my stitch marker at the end there, if you can see, and then I'm going to put one in the middle, so right in the middle here, and that is just to hold it in place so that when you're joining, you're not pulling it too much on one side. So 1 2 3 1 2 3, yeah, so right in the middle is right here, like that. And then I'm gonna flip it like this because I'm gonna join from here. So I'm gonna flip it like this. And then I'm gonna join my work from this end. And I'm gonna go all the way to this where my stitch marker is, okay? So I'm just gonna line it up like this. I still have the yarn from the previous part that I was joining. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and grab that right here and bring it through. And then the first thing I will do is I will do a knot. I'll knot it here. Okay. Like that. And then now I just make sure I keep it as straight as possible here and just go across and join it like this all the way. And then when you get to the stitch marker, you will work your needle there and then remove it and then go all the way to the opposite side. So do that. When you're done, flip your work to the other side, do the exact same thing. Just make sure you're keeping the sides that is gonna be your inside facing up. And then when that's done, come back to the video and I will show you how to join the sides. We still have the sides of the sweater to do, and we still have the bottom of the sleeve to join. Okay, so when you do all of that, please do that and then come back, or do the joining the sleeves to the body of the sweater and then come back and I'll show you how to do the rest. Okay, see you guys in a bit. Okay, my lovelies, so I have joined on both sides here. So as you can see, I just finished these here and this is the other side here. So what I will do at this point is I will just grab my sweater like this and flip it so that it looks like pretty much what we would kind of put on. And then that way we can work on our sleeves as well as working on joining the sides here. So I'm just kind of pushing majority of it off camera here so I can show you what I'm talking about. So you will just have to line up your sleeve like this. Let me just keep pushing it off camera because it's just big that you cannot see everything. So this is pretty much how you're gonna line it up, right? So right here, you're gonna join your sleeve. So you're gonna start from any side. You can start from the middle of the arm or the under the armpit and go to the sleeve, or you can go from the sleeve to the armpit. And then when you finish that, you're going to join the bottom here of your side. So the side of your sweater, you're gonna join that as well, okay? And then when you finish that, you're gonna flip it to the other side and repeat the exact same thing. And at that point, you pretty much have semi-finished sweater because you can actually put it on. And then go ahead and put it on. Make sure the neckline is the size that you want. And if it is not, then adjust it. So for the neckline, you can either adjust it by removing some of the stitches to make it wider, a wider neckline, or you can increase by sewing more to make it a smaller neckline. So that's going to be up to you after you try it on and just kind of play with how you want it to look on you. When you have done all of that, come back to the video and I will show you what to do, because we will probably just clean up the neckline a little bit to make it a little bit nicer. And depending on how much yarn we have, we may not fix, but like clean up the bottom, the neckline, and the sleeves. That is going to be up to you. But for now, just join everything and then adjust your neckline if need be, and then come back to the video. Okay, I will see you guys then. Okay, my lovelies, so I have gone ahead and joined the sweater, so everything is done. As you can see, I also tried it on, and I like the neckline to be a little bit wide like this, so we're not going to make any changes with that, at least not in terms of making it smaller. And yeah, so this is how it looks like. So the only thing that I will probably do is I'm going to clean up the neckline, the bottom, and the sleeves a little bit. And to do that, I will probably run either a couple of rows of double crochet in the bottom, the bottom, the sleeves, and the neckline. But to do that, I'm gonna just flip it a little bit inside, like so the right side is gonna be out now. So the part that we just saw is the inside of our sweater. So I'm gonna flip it like this because this is gonna be the side that shows. Okay. So, and I'm gonna just quickly connect the yarn here so I can show you how to do maybe a row or two or off the double crochet. And I'm gonna do that with the purple. It seems like I have a little bit more of the purple, so I don't want to run out if I use the pink. So the way to do it is I'm just gonna go ahead and do a slip knot here, and this is gonna create a knot that I can then continue to join this. And then in this stitch here, you can start it anywhere. You can start it here, you can start it here, but I'm gonna go right here, and I'm gonna put my hook through, bring it through like that, and then I'm gonna do a chain of two. This chain of two is going to count as a double crochet, and then I will just go ahead and do a double crochet in every stitch around. Okay, so I just do my double crochets, and I'm gonna take you to where the joining is right here, so I can show you how we do the double crochet in that section. And then I will have you guys work the rest of it around until we get to the end. Okay, so just something very simple, and this is also optional. You don't have to do the double crochets, you can leave it the way it is, but if you want to do the border here, then this is what I'm showing you what to do. Okay, let me just fix these here. Let's go here. Okay, like that. Okay, and we're gonna go ahead and to work on this section here, I'm just gonna kind of wing it in a sense. I'm just gonna put a double crochet here and maybe a double crochet right here. Okay, voila, right there. And then I'm gonna go ahead and then go into the stitches and do my double crochets. Okay, so when it comes to the sections where you joined, you're just going to find your way. So for example, here I'll do a stitch here, double crochet stitch here, double crochet stitch here, and then pick up on the stitches. And then when it comes to this corner here, you're going to do a double crochet here, double crochet here, and then skip over to the other side and then continue. Okay, so go ahead and complete a row of double crochets. I'll come back to show you how it looks like. And if I'm satisfied with just one row, we will end it there. But if I want to do a second row, I will show you how to start that. Okay, so I will see you guys when you have gone around back to this section here. Okay, my lovelies, so I have gone ahead and done one row of the double crochet for the neckline here. So as you can see, it's just simple like that, and I'm gonna leave it at that. I don't want to make it a little bit more rows than it is. If you do want to do more rows, if let's say you want to do one more to make it 2 or 3, it's up to you, but I'm gonna leave it at this. And also low key, since I have more squares of this to do, I do now want to do kind of like either shorts or a skirt or something to go with this sweater. So I don't want to use all the yarn that I have because I would like to have enough to complete that project. Also because I bought this yarn in Amsterdam, and I don't know if I will have it here in the south of France in the stores that I go to. So I don't want to take the risk and then have not be able to complete that project. Okay, that I kind of feel like I should. Anyway, so here what I will do is I will just go into this stitch here and I'll complete a double crochet, and then I will slip stitch on top of the chain 2 that we created here to finish this part off. Okay, so now that I have done that, I'm going to go ahead and cut my yarn something like that, and then I will pull this to make a slip stitch, and then I will weave these in. So I will weave these in later, as well as where we started the project here, okay? And by the way, I weaved in and or cut off all the strings that I have. Obviously I had a lot from joining all of these panels or all of these squares, but anyways, this is how the neckline looks. So I think it's nice. I like that it has a white neckline like this, and I like the look of it with just one row of double crochet like that. Okay, so what I will now do is I will repeat the same thing in the bottom here, and I'll repeat the same thing for the sleeve. So I'll do a row of double crochet on each of the sleeves as well as the bottom. So I'm gonna do that, weave in all the ends that I have, and when all of that is done, I'm gonna come back to the video and show you how the final project looks, and then we can go ahead and end the video, okay? See you guys when you have completed that. Okay, my lovelies, so I have gone ahead and completed just kind of cleaning up the edges of our sweater here. And so as you can see, I just pretty much did what I started at the top, but for the neckline, I did that for the sleeves as well. So just a simple row of double crochet around to make it nice and clean, and as well as the bottom of the sweater. And as you can see, I used the purple or lilac color around it so that it's all kind of consistent for what I did for the neckline, okay? So that is pretty much it, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed making this one with me. I loved it, so hopefully you guys loved it, and you will share this video with your friends and loved ones so that they can also try something like this. This sweater is very nice. This yarn is extremely soft. I think the bamboo in it really makes it so that it's extremely soft. Just trying these on, I'm so ready for the fall. I'm gonna be wearing this probably majority of the time in the next couple of months. Okay, so this is it here. Thank you so much for watching the video to the end. And as usual, do not forget to subscribe. Do not comment to like, comment, share. And yeah, so see you guys in the next one. And don't forget to look for another project that would literally be the same. I have these squares already completed for some part of the next project. So don't forget to check that out, because you will make something that will kind of match this sweater here, okay? Thank you so much again, and see you guys in the next one. Bye.